Good afternoon. I am Lee Pon, Senior Assistant Director with the Experiential Learning Team. On behalf of the Career Center and Florida State University, it is our pleasure to welcome you to the 8th Annual Student Employee of the Year Awards ceremony. As a member of the National Student Employment Association and the Regional Southern Association of Student Employment Administrators, we join universities across the country during National Student Employment Week as an opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments and especially the impact of our student employees. Each student recognized during this ceremony was nominated by a faculty or staff member for the 2022 Tony DiBenedetto Student Employee of the Year Award. Student nominees, your student employment may seem like a small part of your journey now, but it will have a lifelong impact. Congratulations on your nomination.
I'm Ashley Johns, the Graduate Assistant with the Experiential Learning Team. Student employees are a powerful force on campus, providing services and support to faculty, staff, and their peers in person and virtually. The experience you get as a student employee assists in developing real-life employment skills and making connections to last you a lifetime. Student employees are truly the lifeblood of the Florida State campus. This past year, campus operations relied on the contributions of 5,057 student employees, some of them in multiple positions, as well as countless interns and volunteers. Student employees are part of every fabric of our operations and are incredibly valued here at Florida State.
In order to select a winner for overall Tony DiBenedetto Student Employee of the Year and category awards, we relied on a committee of 6 representatives from different divisions of Florida State University. This committee individually read and reviewed each nomination, then deliberated to select our 2022 overall and category winners. Our selection committee put an incredible amount of time and work on top of their busy schedules to ensure that each one of our students' individual stories were acknowledged. At this time, we would like to recognize our committee. Ashley Jones led and chaired the committee. Miguel Lejeune, Assistant Director of Employee Data Management in the Office of Human Resources.
Evangeline Coker, Professional Development and Resource Specialist representing the Office of Research Development.
Joe Brigham, Program Director of Technology Services at the Information Technology Services Department and FSU's Max Caraway Employee of the Year.
Jennifer Hall, the Assistant Director of Loans and Federal Work Study, representing the Office of Financial Aid.
Vicki Cup, Special Assistant to the Director of Athletics, representing the Division of Intercollegiate Athletics. This year, the committee's decision was especially difficult as we received over 60 nominations representing 53 departments on both the Panama City and Tallahassee campuses. The nominees are at every level of their educational career, from first time in college to doctoral students in their final year.
At this time, we will begin recognizing the 2022 Student Employee of the Year Award nominees and read a quote from their nomination. Aliyah Gaddafi. Aliyah's nominator shared that she doesn't wait for me to tell her to engage in a task because she's always asking if there are additional transcripts she can review and analyze. Aliyah has been a great asset to my research study.
Abigail Dean. Abigail's nominator shared she's one of the most reliable data entry employees we have due to both her commitment to working her schedule hours and with entering data with accuracy.
Aiden Register. Aiden's nominator shared that Aiden is a thorough, thoughtful, and bright individual. They view concerns and issues from multiple perspectives, allowing for successful manners of approaching the issue.
Alejandro Duran. Alejandro's nominator shared Alejandro is excellent at using our research administration management portal. He has learned how to create funding proposals, fill them out with accuracy, and fill in budgets to reflect PI, graduate student, and lab coordinator effort.
Alina Williams. Alina's nominator shared, it takes incredible emotional and intellectual balance to help students build the foundations they need to succeed rather than just memorize a bunch of answers and have to start from scratch the next time. Alina has perfected this balance.
Alexis Breitfelder. Alexis's nominator shared that she is extremely intentional in her work, using data and student feedback to create meaningful and useful resources for students.
Anhee Louis. Anhee's nominator shared that she is not one to ignore a problem. She is one to work through it, even if that includes seeking advice from those around her.
Angelina Padilla. Students can sometimes overly rely on their tutors, expecting their tutor to teach them the materials from scratch. Angelina possesses skills in developing students see where utilizing the aid of others should meld with their ability to break away and figure issues out on their own.
Anna Piedrahita. Anna's nominator shared, I have watched her leadership skills develop as she takes initiative to confidently and clearly communicate with our campus partners.
Audrey Hendricks. Audrey's nominator shared, I consider myself to be a one step ahead kind of person. Audrey is consistently 3 steps ahead. Her initiative is unmatched in the undergraduate population.
Gordon Wren, Akinrin Marday. Their nominator shared, while always respectful, he pushes us to try to find better and more efficient ways of completing project activities.
Brandon Saradillo. Brandon's nominator shared that he exemplifies FSU's values befitting to the university's expectations of student excellence and management. He's the epitome of servant leadership.
Brett Sharmut. Brett's nominator shared, during student presentations, he asks challenging but well-intended questions regarding design considerations, which clearly demonstrate his critical thinking skills and at the same time promote the development of such skills in the students taking our class.
Caitlin Mann. Caitlin's nominator shared that she never does the bare minimum of what she's assigned, but instead ensures that it's done correctly and to the greatest extent possible. Caitlin is someone we have grown to cherish at our office, and she's a pleasure to work with.
Cassidy Willever. Cassidy's nominator shared that she is great at interpreting policies, communicating clearly with students, and conveying information as accurately as possible to the certificate students.
Chelsea Short. Chelsea's nominator shared that she has consistently proved herself an outstanding emerging scholar, collaborator, and individual. Her commitment to quality research, scholarly inquiry, and real work impacts is clearly demonstrated on a weekly and daily basis.
Chris Milady. Chris's nominator shared, every time he helps a student, I see how earnestly he wants to help them be successful. Aside from his time in the classroom, Chris is organized, well-spoken, and dedicated to doing not just a good job, but a great job.
Daniela Diaz. Danny's communication style transitions very well between campus partners, students, professional staff, and she does a phenomenal job of bringing them all on board. Her nominator shared, without Danny's tireless effort and commitment to professionalism, the Food Recovery Network will not be able to operate as it is today.
Diamond Taylor. Diamond's nominator shared that being the first in her family to further her education beyond the undergraduate level, Diamond has exhibited a tremendous work ethic in all she does. She continuously puts her best foot forward, striving for excellence.
Emma Barrett. Emma's nominator shared that she's a leader in the research group who actively sought to explain concepts to her fellow students and support them. She has a razor-sharp mind, but also a great deal of kindness in her heart.
Emma Bonney. Emma's nominators shared, she displays such poise, maturity, and attention to detail that anyone who works with her can instantly see a future leader in the making.
Stefania Vallejo Santiago. Stefania's nominator shared the following. I have heard how meaningful it is for undergraduate students to see aspects of themselves reflected in Stefania's identity and research expertise.
Frank Lopez. Their nominator shared, he presents ideas of his own, as well as checking in regularly, demonstrating strong lines of communication. Being a self-starter is the number one attribute I look for in a great employee, and Frank is a keen example of a self-starter.
Frederline John Philippe. Frederline's nominators share that they have exemplified FSU's core values of Vires, Artis, and Morris. She has demonstrated excellent moral, physical, and emotional strength in her work, has tirelessly exceeded expectations of her work performance, and delivers quality and charismatic service to her community.
Grace Grissom. Grace's nominator shared that she is dependable and efficient, and she is a clear communicator. Grace is kind, thoughtful, and intelligent, and I believe her efforts are so worthy of recognition.
Hannah Smith. Hannah's nominators share that over the 2 years that I have known Hannah, I have seen how she's a stable and positive presence in the lives of students and in the department. I feel fortunate to have such an outstanding student and teaching assistant.
Hanjiang Zhang. Hanjiang's nominator shared that he shows critical thinking skills when faced with a new problem in his research topic. He knows the approach to validate the proposed direction using fundamental theory, derivation, simulation, and data analysis.
Hiba Halul. Hiba's nominators share. Aside from her intellectual contribution, she also enabled engaging many undergraduate students through her connections with various student organizations, thereby maximizing the impact of the workshop on the FSU community.
Honorin Rollier. Honorin's nominator shared that she builds trust with every graduate student that she connects with and makes certain the impact of their contributions as scholars do not go unnoticed.
Amy Nee. Amy is an outstanding connector who relies on her training and training resources to assist in her success with floor meetings conversations, floor events, team meeting conversations, and array committee work.
Hyjin An. Hyjin's nominator shared, she always suggests innovative ideas and strategies that I haven't thought of. She is an asset to our program and to my projects.
Imani Vernon. Their nominators share that even when something doesn't work out as well as it sounded on paper, she doesn't let that stop her from thinking of and trying another solution to a problem.
Jade Aston. Jade's nominator shared that he would make an outstanding representative of any of the student awards as he encompasses everything that FSU fosters in its students.
Jake Tidwell. Jake's nominator shared that Jake is able to balance long-term projects with the day-to-day administration of the office like a true seasoned professional.
Jamie Butler. Her nominators shared from a variety of ages, economic backgrounds, geographic areas, language ability, and more. Jamie works with each person, focusing on their needs and assisting them to the best of her ability.
Yesenia Abro. Yesenia's nominator share. Jessie's displayed good critical thinking skills in her conversations in our office with team members and is open to an interesting dialogue. She brings her thinking skills with her every day.
Jonathan Locke. Jonathan's nominator shared, when faced with a new situation, Jonathan uses each opportunity to share those experiences with his peers, ensuring they have the opportunity to develop into the future leaders of this program.
Cadian Jasmine. Cadian's nominator shared. His leadership and professional work style kept the Government Information Unit functioning in the midst of staff shortages and physical constraint due to the pandemic.
Karis Grissom. Karis's nominator shared that Karis is a strong example of an undergraduate student employee. She is intelligent, reliable, and a forward thinker.
Junquist. Kaya's nominator shared that when she's in the office, she's a light and brings positivity to the team. She encourages us all to step outside of our comfort zone and does so by giving us words of affirmation.
Kendall Cooper. Kendall's nominator shared that she has handled increasingly complex writing assignments and enjoys the confidence of her teammates and works with a level of independence not often matched by for other interns.
Courtney Lightfoot. Courtney's nominator shared that Courtney has always shown a high level of professionalism, critical thinking, and integrity, all of which continue to grow, making her not only an effective team player, but also a team leader amongst her fellow student workers.
Lucas Braga Carani. Lucas's nominators shared, the instructors continue to request for him each year. I believe this speaks to his reliability and affable character, being able to guide students in his charge.
Marianne Michael. Marianne's nominator shared that Marie has been excellent in listening to the students' question and directing them to the proper resources. This stands out to me from other students who have worked in our office because she really listens to each person before answering.
Mary Gunlock. Mary's nominator shared that Mary is foremost a compassionate educator who is a champion of equity in her classroom and in her production work.
Mo Road. Most nominators shared that she's poised to solve challenges as they arise because she considers all of the stakeholders involved, communicates with them throughout the process, and finds common ground to work together on solutions.
Molly Custis. Molly's nominators shared that Molly has that special quality of always looking for ways to take our efforts to the next level. You can tell she truly cares about the work we do, and that pushes her to take a critical eye to the ways in which we communicate with our audiences.
Morgan Barnes. Morgan's nominator shared that Morgan is one of our most trustworthy staff members. She communicates with us consistently, whether it's regarding a student concern or her own life updates.
Nina Rosso. Nina's nominators shared that Nina has been a tremendous addition to our ITS team. She has brought in not just her FSU lived experiences on campus, but leveraged her education to make an immediate impact for our campus community.
Norma Cruz. Norma's nominator shared that she's a strong advisor through her advising practices, as she's customer service oriented with a student-centered approach. She applies her knowledge and theory from her higher education leadership master's program to her role as an advisor, which has proven to be immensely helpful for students.
Regan Brown. Regan's nominator shared, she is a seasoned mentor and I value her input, and when she has suggestions for the program, I am so eager to hear from her.
Richard Caratero. Richard's nominator shared that overall Richard's decision-making has gained the faculty's trust and demonstrate his critical thinking growth throughout this process.
Sean Doherty. Sean's nominator shared that he seemed to get students to enjoy this course more than most instructors. His technique takes a significant amount of critical thinking on his part to get students to critically think about research methods and to get them to enjoy doing it.
Stephen Gross. Stephen's nominator shared that Stephen's personality is often open and friendly, and I know from previous courses that students gravitate towards him. He's able to instruct without making the students feel like they don't understand the material, and he never shows any frustration, always keeping a positive attitude that is infectious.
Sundal Kim. Sundal's nominator shared that they show outstanding performance in the entire process of critical thinking, and his critical thinking resulted in 6 publications in peer-reviewed prestigious journals.
Taylor Mayer. Taylor's nominator shared that she has developed from a position of assisting to working alongside her supervisors. We have been very impressed with her work and are looking forward to our future collaborations.
Toshiaki Kanai. Toshioki's nominator shared that he is one of the best graduate students I ever worked with at FSU. He is smart, diligent, and highly self-motivated to learn new concepts and new developments in our field.
Tyler Castleberry. Tyler's nominator shared that his demeanor, work ethic, attention to detail, and willingness to go above and beyond are all years ahead of his peers. Valeria Zuniga Urcuyo. Valeria's nominator shared that from a broader perspective, or for a broader team's perspective, Ms. Zuniga Urcuyo's thoughtfulness and leadership by example has earned the respect of the entire team. Victoria Connor. Victoria's nominator shared that working through individual situation one-on-one takes a high level of critical thinking, as each person presents with unique situations. Victoria leads these conversations with great thoughtfulness, a critical lens, and a solution-focused attitude.
Vivian Bernard. Vivian's nominator shared that she is quick to offer support and provide guidance to lost and struggling students without taking over, which requires a great deal of critical thinking to do well.
Wenxiao Li. Wenxiao's nominator shared that she used a variety of materials, assignments, and activities that enhance students' understanding of the importance of diversity and equity that foster their ability to work effectively with individuals of diverse ethnic and cultural backgrounds.
Zhu Zhang. Zhu's nominator shared that he develops, assigns, and executes tasks in timely manner. He has repeated this attitude across multiple programs, including our self-driving car program, which is really at its infancy. Zhu's leadership is really helping us move forward on this project. Congratulations to our 2022 student nominees. Please join us in celebrating our nominees.
When examining the official seal of Florida State University, you will notice the following elements: 3 torches and the words Viris, Artis, and Morris. Collectively, the elements of the seal represent the profound customs, character, and traditions of our university. Each of our category awards were named in celebration and honor of these individual elements that make up for our university's seal.
Before announcing our winners, we would like to recognize a few finalists whose applications stood out in the review process among many worthy nominations. Elena Williams of the ACE Learning Studio, Emma Bonney from the College of Communication and Information, Hiba Jaul of the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department, Sundol Kim of the Chemical and Biomedical Engineering Department. Congratulations on your recognition as a finalist for the Student Employee of the Year Award. At this time, we will recognize the different category winners.
The Viris Award. The Viris Award is bestowed to the student employee who goes above and beyond, taking initiative in their role. The Viris Award recipient's nominator wrote, "This nominee voluntarily organizes and instructs fellow learning assistants on what to do and when to do it, without any input from me. He establishes himself as the leader of the learning assistants. While the learning assistants are only required to attend class and answer questions during lecture and hold 2 hours of office hours weekly, this nominee seems to hold off office hours almost daily and runs practice sessions, as well as construct practice exams and review sessions on the weekend prior to each exam. This nominee is known for taking on hard cases personally. When I identify students that are struggling, I give the nominee the list of names and he organizes the learning assistants to perform an outreach service to see if there's anything wrong or if there's any help they can provide. We always have the goal of 100% retention and 100% passing. While we have not reached this goal as of yet, with the nominees' help, we have been steadily getting closer and closer in retaining more students and having more students without compromising the level of instruction. I watch him work with students and he never just gives them an answer. He guides them so they can find it on their own. This nominee is able to instruct without making the students feel like they don't know the answers. And shows no frustration during this process and is always keeping a positive attitude that is infectious and has directly impacted the success of our students. The 2022 Viris Award recipient is Stephen Gross of Chemistry and Biochemistry Department.
The Morris Award is bestowed to the student employee who exemplifies outstanding professionalism in all aspects of their job. This year, we are bestowing the honor of the Morris Award on 2 students. Thank you to the Office of Financial Aid and the Federal Work Study Office for providing us the ability to honor 2 students this year. The nominator of the first honoree stated, "This nominee hit the ground running and came extremely prepared to work. She was hired to work specifically with the Assistant Director of Fiscal Operations on a special project to bring cost accounting business intelligence reports to the ITS executive leadership team. The nominee was professional in her approach as she learned the background of the different services across our office and began very early on to understand the difference between financial accounting and cost accounting. She was very detailed in her work by utilizing her Excel skills and her advanced communication skills. The nominee, on her own initiative, began creating variations of graphs and charts in Excel from the exported data in the business intelligence reports to allow for these final reports to be more user-friendly for the executive leadership team to see the big picture, effectively leveraging technology to tell the story of how the data translates into the costs of IT services on campus. The nominee even attended meetings with upper level management in the final stages of the project to communicate how these new reports brought valuable information for the members of the executive leadership team to make important business level decisions, always maintaining a clear and professional manner as she speaks. The deputy CIO has said this about the nominee. She has been a tremendous addition to our ITS team. She has brought in not just her FSU lived experiences on campus, but leveraged her education to make an immediate impact for our campus community. The first 2022 Morris Award recipient is Nina Rosso of the Information Technology Services Fiscal Operations Team. The nominator of the second honoree stated, "During his time with us, this nominee has demonstrated professional and leadership attributes that improved our systems. The nominee's responsibilities required him to be independent and lead in the execution of his duties. When I was on maternity leave, midway through his assignment, this nominee took charge, ensuring there were no gaps in the implementation of planned projects. With staff shortages, this nominee identified the gap in responsibilities and quickly moved to fill in. He developed a task document to guide his work in my absence and quickly adapted to a new reporting line, including working with new staff in the completion of his duties. As part of his responsibilities that required extensive use of technology, this nominee coordinated our digital government information displays, finding library materials in United States federal government publications in support of our outreach on national themes, a function of our status as a federal depository library. This student nominee curated these materials in displayable formats, ensuring that we provided resources that best meet the information needs of our patrons. Even after a return to campus, our electronic displays that this nominee helped develop have continued to reach a wider audience, attracting attention from the government publishing office that have used us as an example for excellence in outreach due to our displays on a national level. Despite the odds that he may have had stacked against him, this nominee continued to try and better himself, and by doing so, he bettered us all through his work and presence in the library. The second 2022 Morris Award recipient is Katie and Jasmine of FSU Libraries.
The next award is a Torch Award. It is bestowed to the student employee who demonstrates a commitment to equity and inclusion in the workplace. The following was written about this year's recipient. This nominee's stories speak to his commitment to equity and inclusion. His impact has been immediate in our office, exemplifying professionalism through his commitment in promoting student advocacy for incoming transfer students and creating an inclusive environment for all. This nominee has successfully worked in creating and expanding opportunities for our mentoring program. His work with our transfer geniuses has resulted with more campus engagement opportunities for our mentors, including a partnership with SGA's Transfer Leadership Institute, Transfer Helping Transfers, and most recently, his role as a student success coach for our academic strategy course. For National Transfer Student Week, Last fall, this nominee successfully recruited outstanding transfer students from different disciplines and different experiences on campus, making sure that the different identities were represented and that we provided a diverse number of profiles to highlight during National Transfer Week. This effort ultimately led to inviting President McCullough to recognize our transfer students, including sharing his personal journey as a former transfer student. In transfer services, our motto is, we don't want a student to survive FSU, but to thrive. This nominee's focus has opened as many opportunities for underrepresented students that will allow them to thrive on campus. The 2022 Torch Award recipient is Brandon Saradijo of Transfer Student Services.
The Artis Award is bestowed to the student employee who demonstrates critical thinking skills in the workplace. This was shared about our winner by their nominator. This nominee is one of the best graduate students I have ever worked with at FSU. He is smart and also very diligent. In the first 3 years of his PhD study, he learned very fast the relevant knowledge in quantum fluids research field and kept his eye on the latest development in our particular field. He learned all the complicated numerical tools and successfully applied these tools to solving some long-standing challenging problems pertinent to the dynamical evolution of Bose-Einstein condensates, special state of bosonic particles. The results of his calculations have led to a number of papers in top-ranked peer-reviewed journals. This nominee has excellent critical thinking skills. One great example is related to his work as reported in one of our published academic studies. We initially set out to study the so-called Onsager vortex in 2D superfluids. However, in our study of superfluid on a spherical surface, we could not see any Onsager vortices at all. I thought that there was something we did wrong, but the nominees started questioning what could be missing in the original theory. In the end, we figured out that the original well-accepted theory was indeed incorrect. We then reported our understanding in the aforementioned paper. This nominee was critical in us identifying that this well-accepted theory was incorrect. The 2022 recipient of the Artis Award is Toshiaki Kanai of the Physics Department. Before we announce our overall undergraduate and graduate winners, we would like to welcome Myrna to our virtual stage to introduce our award namesake, who has some special words for us.
Thank you for joining us today as we honor the contributions and work ethic of the more than 5,000 student employees that make our campus a vibrant place. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all the student employee nominees for your contributions to Florida State University. Your work is one of the many reasons we are recognized for our institutional excellence. I'm Myrna Hoover, Director of the Career Center, and like you, I worked on campus when I attended Florida State University. The experience of being a student employee allowed me to build many transferable career readiness skills that I've leveraged throughout my career that impacted both my professional and personal journey in ways that I never could have imagined. It's also my pleasure to share with you why the FSU Student Employee of the Year Awards are named after Tony DiBenedetto. Tony started his professional development journey right here at Florida State University as a student employee, just like you, while he was earning his degree in management information systems. In fact, I had the opportunity to work with Tony as he held 2 on-campus jobs to support his studies. One of his jobs was at the Disabled Students Lab and the other at the Career Center. I think it's important to know Tony's background, things he would probably never share with you, to understand why these awards are named in his honor. If you Google Tony, you'll find his LinkedIn profile describing him as a 30-year executive, serial entrepreneur, and thought leader. Here is the story. After graduating from Florida State University, Tony joined the prestigious Big Five accounting firm, Arthur Andersen, where he impressively earned partnership in 10 years. In 1998, Tony co-founded startup TriBridge and served as CEO of Concerto Cloud Services, a fully managed cloud services provider owned by TriBridge. In July 2017, Tony led the acquisition of TriBridge and Concerto by DXC Technology Company. This organization still actively recruits on our campus for both interns and full-time hires. Tony has also been recognized with many numerous leadership awards. He's been recognized with the Ernst & Young Florida Entrepreneur of the Year Award in Technology and was inducted into the Florida State University College of Business Hall of Fame, an exclusive group of 47 business leaders. In addition to a long-term strategic partnership with Boys and Girls Clubs of Tampa Bay, he co-founded the Tampa Bay Technology Forum, now called TechStart, whose mission is to inspire at-risk kids to pursue careers in STEM through educational programs and scholarships. Alongside his numerous positions on boards of tech companies, Tony has turned his attention to larger problems. Tony has turned his attention to the shortage of tech talent and the opportunity gap for socioeconomically disadvantaged kids. Connecting these two problems led him to found the Tampa Bay Think Big for Kids organization. This nonprofit group helps connect kids to their very first jobs. As you can see, Tony's dedicated his entire career to the areas of business innovation, customer advocacy, and servant leadership. Tony truly embodies the qualities that make FSU an exceptional place to learn and grow. He has excelled in his career and continues to make contributions to his profession, our community, and his alma mater. Tony's personal dedication in supporting students from low-income households who are often overlooked and under-challenged in discovering their untapped potential to become adults truly epitomizes the spirit of the Florida State University Student Employee of the Year Award. We are honored to have him as our namesake, keynote speaker, and friend to Florida State.
Hello, my name is Tony DiBenedetto. First, let me thank Myrna and the entire staff of the Career Center. Let me congratulate each of the award winners. As an alum, I'm proud that FSU takes time to recognize your hard work and your accomplishments as a student and an employee. Your contributions to the university is significant, both from a financial impact, but also the way that you're impacting students on campus. I'd like to share just a little bit about my own experience as a student employee, and then maybe just a couple tips that I think will help you both at your journey at FSU and your future career. I attended FSU and I was a student employee for all 4 years. Being a student employee had such a tremendous impact on me, both in my professional, but also in my personal development. When I came to FSU, I really was not in a position to not work. I had to work to support myself and get through school. And in my freshman year, I was lucky enough to find a job immediately at the Blind and Disabled Student Lab, where frankly, not only was I motivated by the work and the people, but I had a great mentor in Jeff Douglas, who taught me to be grateful and to be such a good leader. Jeff was phenomenal. I also needed a second job, and so Jeff introduced me to the folks at the Career Center, where I learned about programming and how to build apps and all this other cool stuff. But really, it was the skills I was building as a person. And that's where I got to meet Pearlie Rogier. And frankly, I was pretty rough around the edges when I got to FSU, and the coaching Pearlie and Jeff and others gave me was so much more important than the skills I was gaining on campus. So for me, those connections were so important, and that development was so important for me. Anyway, enough about me. I'm really excited for all of you who are getting this great experience on campus. And I know it probably seems like, wow, I make a lot of sacrifices. And I'm guessing most of your friends or even other people don't really understand all the tough choices you have to make. There's lots of really neat things to do at FSU, whether it's football games or social events or baseball games or whatever it is. And sometimes you have to miss those because you have to support yourself and you have to do the work that you've signed up for. And so I want you to know that it's not just to get through. It really gives you a clear advantage going forward. I think there are some things I'd share with you. I've been recruiting on campus for 35 years and interviewing lots of folks, and I can tell you the students that have work experience always interview better. They always start their careers better. And I think it's because they've done some things by getting started in the 4 years that you're here. I've got a couple tips for you that I hope you're exercising, but if you're not, it's something to think about. One, stay connected. The networking really is key to not only getting your first job, but it's really key to business success. I've been lucky to know Myrna Hoover for over 30 years now. I met her when I was a student employee, and I've been working with her ever since. That's just one small example. Myrna's helped me with recruiting, career advice, personal advice. She had a big impact on my life, and I met her here on campus 35 years ago. So doing that networking and staying connected is certainly key. Two, don't underestimate the work you're doing. I know sometimes it seems like the task is mundane, but it wasn't meant to be glorious when I was changing chips on a card or writing manuals, but it's not really about the task. It's about gaining a work ethic. It's about learning how to be a professional. And so look at people that you look up to. Write down the things you like that they do. Write down the things you don't like that they do. Also, point number 3, it's really learning how to become a professional. Take the job seriously. Don't look past just because you're a waiter or just because you're doing something that you may not do in your future career. I can tell you that I learned stuff being a waiter in Tallahassee about customer service that I used in my tech jobs. You learn how to work with all kinds of people. So learning how to be a professional is a key to your development here at FSU. Take the initiative to do more. Find a job where, if you don't find a job that's a right fit, maybe you can ask to take on a project, this opportunity to expand the role that you're in. And then finally, my last tip is find ways to learn communication and management skills. Again, listening for styles, picking up people's protocols, paying attention how people communicate well, and paying attention to the way people don't communicate well. Those are all things that could help you with your career. Well, let me wrap up by saying you should feel really proud of your work as a student employee. It makes me feel great that FSU does this and they recognize you both as a student as an employee. I hope you realize the impact that you're having to the university. Listen, if you're graduating in May, I think you all know you're coming into a very difficult work environment and will need to be even more persistent and patient to get that first job. Let me congratulate you. Please enjoy this well-deserved celebration.
Thank you, Myrna and Tony.
The Tony DiBenedetto Student Employee of the Year Award is bestowed upon the outstanding student employee that demonstrates strength, skill, and character while delivering exceptional customer service and always going above and beyond in their role. In order to recognize the unique contributions of undergraduate and graduate students, employees on our campus, we will now bestow 2 overall Tony DiBenedetto Student Employee of the Year awards. One for the overall undergraduate student winner and one for the overall graduate student winner.
We will now present the graduate student winner of the 2022 Tony DiBenedetto Student Employee of the Year Award. The nominator of our award recipient had this to say about our graduate winner. While the world shifted to a remote space where working from home became the new normal, this nominee jumped right into managing the office's Grad Impact Project, a huge undertaking that amplifies the voice and lived experiences of graduate students by highlighting their contributions to the rich history of FSU through their research and work in action. At the start of the pandemic, this nominee suggested a virtual video series, Coffee Conversation, birthed out of the need to create community and connection for graduate students in a time where we had to adapt our services to a remote learning and living environment. This outlet was crucial in providing graduate students with a space to feel safe, normal, and heard. In addition to helping supervise undergraduate students, this nominee has taught herself multiple technological skills to advance the mission of the office. With no prior knowledge of coding, she learned how to create web spaces from scratch and used this knowledge to update over 100 student profiles on our webpage and created a consistent schedule to share more widely the amazing stories of our graduate students with the Grad World website and the Council of Graduate Schools. Most recently, she took the lead on working with several Panama City campus administrators and web developers to develop a fellowships and awards page on the Panama City campus's website. The nominee builds trust with every student that she connects with. This has fostered a positive environment in the office and more widely amongst graduate students from all backgrounds and disciplines. Her ability to learn, multitask, teach, lead, and serve will make her an amazing professor and mentor in the future. The 2022 graduate Tony D. Benedetto Student Employee of the Year Award recipient is Honorin Roulier from the Graduate School.
Now, for the 2022 Tony Di Benedetto Student Employee of the Year at the undergraduate category, the nominator of this year's winner stated, "This nominee provides prospective scholarship recipients tours, aids in recruitment efforts, assists with the application review process, maintains communication with both current residents and prospective students, and tracks house budgets. We relied on undergraduate students, employees, yet she stands out as the most hardworking, independent, and personable student that we have ever employed. An example of her great work is when this nominee took the initiative to come through approximately 1,500 applications to see which Florida counties were represented, and in turn conducted outreach effort to all counties with 0 to 5 applicants. She found every individual high school within each county, called every single guidance counselor, contacted them and emailed them recruitment flyers, and that opened the line of communications for underrepresented students to learn about our scholarship program. This project consisted of hundreds of high schools. It was an innovative solution to accommodate our underrepresented counties, and now this will be our standard operating procedure in our resident recruitment outreach plan. We estimate that each ARC student's resident save approximately $13,000 per academic year by taking advantage of our free housing, allowing for our residents to graduate with less or no debt. It is why outreach is so important. This nominee leveraged technology, uses inclusive communication skills, thinks critically on how to improve our processes, embraces all our residents, leverages her opportunities to build her career competencies, and has grown to be someone that we cherish here at the office. She's easily the top-ranking student employee we've had the pleasure supervising during my career. The 2022 undergraduate Tony Di Benedetto Student Employee of the Year Award recipient is Caitlin Mann from the Office of Financial Aid, working with the Southern Scholarship Foundation. As our undergraduate institutional winner, Caitlin's nomination was submitted to the Southern Association of Student Employment Administrators for consideration of the regional award.
Congratulations to all our winners. While the ceremony is dedicated to thanking students for their hard work, this could not have been possible without some key individuals. I want to take a moment to thank all of the faculty and staff for nominating their students. Thank you for taking the time to recognize your amazing student employees for their contributions to our university.
We'd also like to take a moment to recognize the people that support us through this process. First, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Amy Heck, for her continued support of the program and for championing high-impact student employment opportunities on this campus. Also, thank you to Tracy Lord, our Program Director for Experiential Learning, for developing the Student Employee of the Year program at Florida State University. Also, a very important thanks is to Ashley Jones, our graduate assistant, as well as my wonderful co-host for this virtual ceremony. Ashley chaired the selection committee and managed the planning and execution of this year's virtual ceremony. Ashley will be graduating with her master's degree in integrated marketing and communications this summer and will start her PhD program in communication theory and research here at FSU in the fall of 2022. Ashley, thank you for a job well done.
Thanks so much, Lee. And please join us in thanking Lee Pon, my wonderful co-host, and the Senior Assistant Director for Experiential Learning and Student Employee of the Year Recognition Program Manager. None of this would be possible without her ongoing leadership, support, and dedication. Thank you, Lee, for leading this project with passion and for being a guiding light for me as your supervisee. I will sorely miss you after graduating.
Thank you, Ashley. We'll still be connected. At this time, we want to take a special moment to thank our Career Center Director, Myrna Hoover, for her dedication to the Student Employee of the Year Award, an initiative that was developed at FSU under her direction. It is important to recognize the Student Employee of the Year ceremony not only was developed under her leadership, but also was expanded to all FSU campuses, as well as it included scholarship for our winners. When we approached Myrna for this, she approved without hesitation. Thank you, Myrna, for your commitment year after year to recognize the contributions of student employees that make our campus. Your leadership, strategic and visionary approach, warmth, and hard work are going to be missed. Thank you for 36 years of service to the Florida State University. To celebrate her prior achievements here at the Career Center, we have asked two past student employees to share a few words with us.
Hi, my name is Brittany DeVise. I am a PhD candidate in higher education at Florida State University. But before I was a PhD candidate here, I was a master's student at Florida State and had the immense privilege to work in the Career Center as the Garnet and Gold Scholar Society GA under the direction of Myrna Hoover. So when I heard Myrna was retiring, I was so happy for her, but also deeply saddened by the loss that Florida State will feel from her departure. I often tell folks, and especially my students in my leadership studies classes, that there is no one I've ever learned from that manages with such kindness and care for everyone that follows her, right? So she is someone who is known across Florida State's campus. She is known for the way she leads, the way she manages, the way she loves, and in her practice and her work. So outside of working with her, I've gotten to know her at a personal level as well. She was always known for taking her grads to get coffee or lunch or breakfast and just getting to learn about them. We never talked about work. We always talked about our personal life. So she is someone who just loves unconditionally and cares so deeply, but also makes sure the work gets done every day. So I am so thankful for Myrna and what I have learned from her. And I know I will continue to take what I've learned from her into my leadership studies courses and teach the students at Florida State and beyond. But Myrna, I love you and I'm so thankful for you and know that you'll be so missed. So happy retirement.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Derek. I use he, him, el pronouns, and I used to serve as a prior graduate assistant in the Career Center with the Garnet and Gold Scholar Society. And I was told of the opportunity for us to make a video and thank Myrna. And of course, I had to jump right on that because I think, Myrna, you have inspired so many generations of not only graduate assistants, but professionals, individuals that are in higher education as a whole. And I just think that because of your legacy and because of the way that you, as you always say, we're trying to be the champion of career centers and you want to be a champion of career services, I think that's a very light title to give you, because I think you've done so much more, not only for me as an individual, for the graduate assistants that I can speak that worked alongside me, but to so many individuals that have crossed the paths of the Career Center, that I think it's just a beautiful way to just say a quick thank you and to be appreciative of everything that you've done. As someone who's now working more directly with leadership learning and leadership education, I always reflect on the conversations in passing that I've always had with Myrna and how leadership looks very different for different people. And the way that I would be able to describe Myrna's leadership style, in my opinion, is someone who makes sure that they are comfortable getting to know their own leadership style. I think, Myrna, you have such a way with words, a way with being boss, being a leader, being an extraordinary human being to our Florida State community. And I know you will be deeply missed, but we know that your impact will go on for generations of graduate assistants, employees, faculty members to come that interact with the Career Center. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you, and know that I'm very appreciative of all the opportunities that have come from me working in the Career Center, all the knowledge that I've gained under you and under my supervisors and everybody at the Career Center, and the impact that y'all have made on my life. So I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Derek and Brittany, for your thoughtful words. In celebration of Student Employment Week, help us showcase your contributions to our campus operations by posting on-the-job action photos and remote work spaces using the hashtag #NowlesAtWork. Additionally, each of the nominees will receive a certificate via email to commemorate this milestone and earn a digital badge. Nominees and winners, thank you. Your day-to-day work helps our institution achieve excellence in teaching, research, creative endeavors, service, and innovation.